Hey, don't let this episode ruin your relationship. Let's start by emphasizing that you shouldn't be affected by stroma scandals and secrets. Marjorie Harvey, the queen of scandal, gets caught up in a web of betrayal and love, involving everything from court cases to family mergers. The love story of Harvey is nothing less than an emotional roller coaster. Get ready to delve into the murky depths of sibling rivalry and deception. Brace yourselves as I share the fascinating information of how Marjorie was actually discovered for cheating on Steve Harvey. Their once happy blended family is in danger of disintegrating due to Marjorie, the glamorous wife of television personality Steve Harvey. Their problems aren't only financial, but her whole job is to hide her history, so her ex-husband's book about her shady past is causing quite a commotion. I open the book and readers and critics alike are analyzing the scandalous details as Marjorie deals with the accusations that she cheated on Steve Harvey. These accusations have rocked the entertainment industry and damaged the reputation that Marjorie has worked so hard to establish. However, I've been searching online and discovered that the claims are false. Rewind to when Marjorie was only 18 and was married for the first time. Jim, a man 14 years her senior, captured her heart. But this is where things get complicated. Even though they experienced ups and downs, no one anticipated Jim's sudden conviction that would forever change their lives, which Marjorie only learned after their passionate relationship had blossomed. Unaffected by the controversy, their love affair continued, leading to a 3-year romance and subsequent marriage. What followed was something out of a Hollywood plot. In a surprising turn of events, Jim became involved in illegal activity, including attempting to purchase 40 kilograms of cocaine, and he implicated Marjorie. T accused Marjorie of approaching the DA famously. Jim said, 27 years in prison, you're getting 28, when speaking about his time behind bars. The final twist in this true life story is nothing short of fantastic, if you take into account the year I spent in the state when I was truly gaining ground in the game. After such a flurry of events, President Barack Obama pardoned Jim, who was given a life sentence, but only served 26 years. She immediately went off on me since she had heard about the book. Let's go on to another character in our story. The narrative of Marjorie's life, with its passionate love relationships and spectacular betrayals, reads like a fascinating novel. Honorably, his marriage to Marcia in 1980 and the birth of his twin daughters Carly and Brandy marked the beginning of Steve Harvey's turbulent love life. At the time, Steve was working as a remote insurance salesman, but after experiencing the success of stand-up comedy and winning his 50th first-place prize, he decided to leave his sales job and pursue comedy. Unfortunately, his relationship with Marcia was rocky, and the couple split up in 1994. Then came the drama with Steve's second wife, Mary Shackelford. The marriage started with whispers of Steve seeing Mary while still married to Marcia, and it was nothing but rocky roads from there. Mary's suspicions grew, hearing rumors of Steve's disloyalty, leading her to accuse him of cheating and even physical and psychological abuse. The turbulence ended with a divorce and left Steve in a financially challenging spot with a focus solely on his budding comedy career. The kids are Marjorie and Sparks' paths crossed at a Memphis bar in 1990 where Sparks flew. But their romance was short-lived. Despite an instant connection, they split up after a few weeks, leaving Marjorie to reminisce, I knew he was the one shortly after I started dating him. But then he just disappeared. Steve had his reasons, explaining, before a man can be of use to a woman, he's got to know who he is, what he does, and how much he's going to make. They reconnected in 2005, when the timing was right as Steve was back on his feet, and a second marriage had recently ended. Their 2007 marriage turned them into the glamorous power couple we know today. I met her 86-87. When the song came out then, God gave it back to me in 2005. But while Steve was going through his relationship turmoil, Marjorie was dealing with her own dramatic love life. After all the chaos with Jim Townsend, she got involved with Jim's cousin Darnell Woods, resulting in a daughter named Lori. It was like déjà vu all over again, as Darnell was also involved in drug dealing and ended up behind bars. Marjories Divorce was finalized in 2001, adding another chapter to her tumultuous love life. But now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about the topic of today's tale. In the glittery halls of Hollywood, rumor is currency, and Marjorie is the subject of the newest buzz. Harvey's alleged liaison with Steve's dependable bodyguard Willie is a big boom Freeman, you might be wondering. What's so controversial about this huge boom? But Freeman isn't your typical Hollywood heartthrob. Digging a little deeper reveals that he was once a notorious pimp who didn't hesitate to abuse women. Surprisingly, Freeman's own website spills these secrets, describing how he used women as a means of satisfying his ego and power. In response to his darkest days' cravings, he reinvented himself as a reputable speaker and celebrity bodyguard, boasting of providing both visible and discreet security to Tinseltown's A-list. Hold on tight, folks, as the story escalates the supposed relationship between Marjorie and the bodyguard. William's massive bang Freeman may not have been just a passing fling, but sources have put together a timeline that raises more questions than answers. Marjorie may have started her brief romance with Freeman in 2002, while Steve was still married to his second wife, but that wasn't the only secret she was keeping at the same time. In fact, some insiders think that Steve himself once walked in on Marjorie and Freeman at a hotel in Las Vegas in late 2002, but chose to ignore the evidence. Rumors began to circulate about Marjorie's parallel relationship with Freeman. You are the treasure, don't offer yourself to anyone, but why would Marjorie do this? This is where the suppositions really get interesting. Hotel records and a string of text conversations that found their way into the hands of a determined investigative journalist and were laced with secret discussions added additional fuel to the fire. Others feel that her connection with Freeman was a deliberate maneuver to maintain a tight check on C via his right-hand guy. Others argue that she was drawn to Freeman's dark and scandalous past. Either way, this complex web of relationships has Hollywood insiders and fans alike scrambling to connect the dots. Spend the rest of your life with the single most important decision you will ever make, because your other half will either this rumored affair has the gossip mills churning over time, casting a shadow on the stability of Steve and Marjorie's marital life. Their blended family, which until now seemed picture perfect to the outside world, might be facing its own set of cracks and fissures. But as the rumors started catching, whispers also suggest that Marjorie's connection with Freeman might be fizzling out. However, if you thought this was the climax of the drama, you're in for a roller coaster. The ever-present animosity between Steve and his ex Mary has flared up once again, hotter and more volatile than before. Using Mary with the fire of vengeance burning bright, has hurled accusations at Steve, painting a picture of a tumultuous marriage filled with betrayal and abused. In response to a lawsuit, Steve claimed Mary threw a wrench in his plans to earn money via a talk show. Hell hath no fury like a woman scoring, as Steve is currently learning the hard way. Marjorie Harvey, Steve's ex-wife, is furious and is going public. Mary, never one to be cornered, took the fight to YouTube, where she unveiled a wealth of evidence against Steve and asserted Marjorie's long-standing relationship with him. Pulling out all the stops, she displayed text messages that appear to show Marjorie and Steve leading opulent lifestyles while leaving Mary in the icy grip of financial despair. The hurricane has definitely underestimated the fact that my financial situation is a complete mess. Marjorie comes into her own as a pillar of strength for Steve, answering the naysayers who claimed Winton had stolen his winter from him and turned his kid against me. Marjorie Harvey's legal drama didn't end there. She reportedly sought legal advice to file a defamation lawsuit against Steve Harvey's ex-wife, Mary. Marjorie ultimately decided not to move forward, a decision that may have been influenced by her troubled past. Defamation lawsuits can be messy, and in this case, it would have probably revealed some of Marjorie's personal information. In an enlightening interview on Steve's show with Club, it was revealed that the entire incident undoubtedly had an influence, prompting Steve to increase security at his Atlanta residence. Steve was confronted by Shannon Sharp, a top football player for Shay Shay, about the difficulties of integrating their families. He discussed the difficulties of having his own daughters, Brandy and Carly, as well as Marjorie's children, Lori and Morgan, all there. He also recalled their first family outing, which was to a bowling alley. Adventure that didn't quite end in a strike, Steve recalled all the ladies went bowling came back and decided they didn't want us to get married and stated they don't believe it's the right thing to do, and they need more time to get to know us despite the reservations and concerns of their children. Marjorie and Steve continued in their marriage and brought up a diverse family. Lori, Marjorie's daughter, was even adopted by Steve, but the fairy tale wedding wasn't without its challenges. It's our duty to care for a woman and her children to have a family, but what happens to them when the woman's some family friends and even close relatives begin whispering that Marjorie was manipulative and a gold digger, an allegation that continues to echo within Hollywood circles? Happiness, that's a toxic relationship days. Navigate the complex dynamics of Elaine Marjorie what, in your opinion, made Marjorie's decision to recuse herself from the legal battle a wise one? What do you think of Steve making Marjorie and Lori his top priorities? Is Marjorie's alleged infidelity with Steve justified, or is it just another sensational tabloid story? That's all for now, folks. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you had as much fun as I did, hit that like button, and if you haven't already, hit subscribe so you won't miss out on all the juicy gossip I've got lined up for you. Until next time, continue to be awesome and leave comments.